Not more than 12 months while our old committee room is under construction. Without objection, the chair may declare recess at any time. I now recognize myself for the purpose of making an opening statement. Welcome to today's hearing on the U.S. Census Bureau with Director Robert Santos. The Census Bureau conducts several surveys and statistical products, but none is more important than the decennial census of the U.S. population. Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution requires Congress to ensure a population census is taken every 10 years to serve as the basis for apportioning representation in the U.S. House of Representatives and allocating electoral college votes. It also informs how Congress allocates funds and how federal agencies achieve their missions for the American people. Today we will examine the Census Bureau's ongoing planning and preparation for the 2030 census. While this event is still 5 years away, preparation for the 2030 census has already begun. Counting more than 330 million people is a massive undertaking. It requires engagement with national, state, and local stakeholders to encourage full participation. And it also requires the Census Bureau to leverage lessons learned from the 2020 census. Unfortunately, the 2020 census was flawed in ways not seen in prior censuses. The Census Bureau's post-enumeration survey, which measures census count accuracy, revealed significant errors in 14 states. Significant errors. These errors predominantly benefited Democrat-leaning states in the allocation of congressional seats and electoral college votes. In contrast to the 2020 census, no states were found to have had such errors in the 2010 census. But in 2020, the post-enumeration survey suggests there were overcounts in New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Hawaii, Delaware, Minnesota, Utah, and Ohio. And there were undercounts in Texas, Florida, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Illinois. 6 of the 8 states benefiting from overcounts tended to favor Democrats in awarding congressional apportionment and electoral college votes. Meanwhile, 5 of the 6 states that were unfairly penalized by undercounts tended to vote overwhelmingly Republican. These miscounts had a huge impact on representation. Small numbers of proportional differences in population between states can impact the apportionment calculation. In the 2020 apportionment, a difference of only 89 people was the tipping point for New York being apportioned 26 seats instead of 29. Just 89 people in the state of New York. Based on the 2020 post-enumeration survey, it is likely that miscounts caused Colorado to gain a seat it would have not gained otherwise, and for Rhode Island and Minnesota, to each keep a seat they would have lost. Meanwhile, Texas and Florida likely should have gained a seat. If anybody's been to Texas and Florida lately, and been to Rhode Island and Minnesota lately, I would beg to differ that there's a significant difference in the growth and population increases in those states. It's imperative that we understand what went wrong in the 2020 census and take action to mitigate the risk of those similar errors in the 2030 census. Mitigating these risks is even more important because there are major demographic changes happening across the country as citizens of blue states flee from those high-tax sanctuary jurisdictions for red states to enjoy lower taxes, a safer environment, and to exercise more freedom. Finally, the Equal Representation Act, passed out of this committee and by the House earlier this year, is critical to ensuring fairness in our electoral process. This legislation adds a straightforward citizenship question to the decennial census questionnaire to ensure accurate information. It also ensures that only U.S. citizens are counted for apportionment of congressional seats and electoral college votes. American citizens' federal representation should be determined by American citizens only. We must get this bill passed by Congress and signed into law. I look forward to hearing from Director Santos today about the Census Bureau's efforts to prepare for the 2030 census and ensure its success and accuracy. I now yield to the ranking member for his opening statement.
Mr. Chairman, thank you.